All right, in this video, we're going to start to talk about section 7.2. We'll break this up into a couple different parts. Ultimately, we're going to try to do an overview and then look at two examples together. The rest of the examples that are here are just for your practice. We would have normally done those in class time. Okay, so if you got your formula sheet with you again, it'll be very helpful to have that out because we're going to be trying to compare and contrast to a little bit of what we did in the last section. Okay, I'm going to actually jump to the formula sheet right away. What you'll see here again is that we've kind of separated our sheet into two sides. On the left side, we have a bunch of different things that we can talk about when we're interested in finding mystery percentages, like we were in the last section. What percentage of people were going to vote for a candidate? What percentage of the time does a coin land on heads? What percentage of bystanders did CPR correctly? Over on this side in red, we're going to have things dealing with an average. I might want to know, like, what's the average age of a bunch of people? What's the average income for workers at a job? What's the average number of credit hours taken by students? And those average questions have a slightly different approach. You'll see that we're still going to be interested in doing hypothesis tests. We have a different calculator test that we're going to be using. We have a different formula than values that we need to find in order to be able to conduct this test. And we have some slightly different checks, at least than what happened previously. These checks really aren't different, though, than checks that we've already done this semester. Okay, so let's see. If we take a look at what we have here at the start, we're going to be doing hypothesis tests to find a population mean. So you'll notice right away that all of our hypotheses involve no longer p's, but mu's, population averages. We have the same setup. In our H0, we always have the mean is equal to some number. Keep in mind mu with the little 0 on it. It just stands for some number. And then we also have that the mean could be smaller than something, the mean could be bigger than something, the mean might just not be equal to something. We're going to be interested in listing out our sample evidence. We're going to have a value of n, maybe a sample average and a sample standard deviation that we find. I have some checks. We could either have a normal population or have a big enough sample. And then we're going to compute what we call a t-score. This is going to be for actually a brand new distribution called a t-distribution, which we'll talk about in the first example. Okay. If I meet those steps, I'll say that my x bars can be, I can find how rare they are or not rare they are by using a t-distribution. And so this is where we use a t-test on the calculator. This is what our screen is going to look like. We'll see how all this works again in just a moment. We'll sketch out a picture. We'll label it appropriately like we did in the last couple sections. And again, we'll state a conclusion at the very end. So there's not really anything different with this overview than what we had previously, which is really, really nice. It means that we're going to be repeating the same process with just a couple small tweaks. And all of those tweaks are meant to be communicated in the formula sheet. All right, so let's keep that formula sheet handy. We'll keep this first page handy, and as we start to take a look at example number 1.